Hey y'all! Welcome back to my channel, vstreetlove. I'm Vanessa, my pronouns are she, her, and on this channel I like to make silly Sims videos. And today we're looking at all of your most asked questions for The Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature. Thanks to EA for early access to the pack. Basically, I have seen some of the questions in the community. You all have asked me questions in my Discord, and if you didn't know, I do have a Discord. I'll leave the link to the Discord in the description below. And I'm gonna take some of the time today and basically answer your top questions. Basically, I'm trying to help you decide whether or not you're going to purchase the pack if you're on the fence. I think one of the first questions I had was if the new skin colors can be used for Sims that are not fairies. So if for this Sim, for example, if I go in and I make them a fairy, when we go into their fairy form, okay, we see all of these different skin colors. But when I go into their regular form, do we still get access to them? No. Okay, so as regular Sims, we do not get access to all of the new skin colors for non-fairy Sims. But what about for other occults? All right, so what if I add another Sim, but make them a different occult? Because actually, it also begs the question about the new eye colors we have. So for the eye colors, okay, so we got a bunch of the eye colors available to any Sim, which I do find interesting because they didn't do that with the skin colors. And I'm not exactly sure why. So these what are they called? These eyes are from the pack. I'm pretty sure these ones below, like this line, are from the pack. And they are available to any Sim, but the skin colors aren't. But if I go and I make this Sim, I don't know, a vampire, and then we give this Sim a dark form, if I go into the skin colors, do I get those fancy skin colors? No. So those fun and funky colors are only available to fairies. I'm not exactly sure why that is. What if I go to your, like, an alien form? I don't actually make aliens, so I'm not wholly familiar. Okay. I'm not wholly familiar with all of the skin colors with aliens. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I guess the skin colors with aliens are like much of the same. Like you can only be these colors as an alien, but we got some new colors. We can't be a pink alien. I guess like the other cults, the new fun and funky skin colors are locked behind being a fairy. Now, what I did notice that I thought was interesting is that when the forms are linked, if you make your Sim a fun and funky color in their fairy form and they're linked, it looks like your Sim will keep that fun and funky color in their regular form. So if I go in here and unlink them and I decide, actually, I want your fairy form. In your fairy form, you're gonna be maybe like this bright blue. So I guess I can have a blue fairy, but then the regular form is pink, but I couldn't choose this without having made my Sim a fairy first. What if I take away the occult entirely? Maybe I broke it, but that kept the pink of this Sim. So I'm just let's just randomize some things. Will you keep this even outside of the create a Sim? Okay, this Sim with these eyes is freaking me out. So we're just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and say bye. Okay, we have the Sim in this household. So I am gonna check to see about this other skin tones. Stop smelling the mirror. Okay, so there was a question about whether or not spellcasters have access to the skin tones since they have access to the alien skin tones. So we're gonna add a spellcaster. So it looks like the skin tones that spellcasters have access to has not been updated with the release of fairies. I mean, I might as well check all of the occults. So we checked aliens, we checked vampires. I don't think there's any need to check werewolves because they have a whole different thing going on. This dress! Goodness! Okay, well, I can double check if the skin tones haven't changed there. And then the merfolk. Oh, look at the tail! I did not rank this in my Pride video. And nobody told me. That's how much people play with mermaids. Nobody even told me about the rainbow tail. Anyway, yeah, no. So mermaids have access to the alien skin tones, but not the new fairy skin tone. Let's add a child Sim. You're not going to be a mermaid, though. We're going to make you a little fairy. And your little trait is can you be a mystical child? Okay. So I was curious if these traits are available to children And it looks like disruptive and mystical are not available to children sims, but they can be plant lovers. So I guess we'll make you a plant lover since that's a new trait. Oh, you want to see a mystical and a skeptical sim interact. That is really good. So let's make, oh wait, I forgot I made you mystical. Okay, well, with that in mind, let's update Beverly with the fairy aspiration, mind you, to be skeptical, just to see how maybe they have special interactions with each other. So if you want to give your sim the funky skin color, you just need to tag them as a fairy, choose the skin color, and then remove the fairy occult. And then you get to keep it. Though, again, I'm not exactly sure why they're not just letting us have that, unless it's to kind of prevent random sims from walking around and being like green and purple or whatever. Oh, what's your interaction as a skeptical sim with the fairies? Oh yeah, this sim's a jerk. Okay, so this sim is supposed to be skeptical. Not entirely trusting of the majority of things you see or hear, skeptical sims like to challenge the universe to provide concrete proof that something is indeed as it might appear. Is there anything particular that we can interact with this sim to be like, I don't believe you're a fairy? There's fairy socials. Maybe I can ask you for fairy dust. Right now, we don't seem to have a moodlet that's indicating like, oh, what's going on here? But Phoenix did provide some fairy dust. Okay, well, what about you? Oh, read aura. So my sim here is about to autonomously read this sim's aura. So what does that do? Gloria is a mystical sim. Mystical sims aim to help everyone reach a state of balance. Yellow. Your confidence is off the charts. A charmer like you can command anything of the universe and reap all benefits. Let me see if I can grant a sacred blessing to you. Okay, so let's see. Do you accept it? Okay. Okay, so where is the debate the existence of vampires? Maybe it was under interest? Yeah, it's under deep thoughts. There's nothing like that for fairies, it seems. It's interesting because fairies seem to have been introduced in a way, it's like a non-question. Kind of like the idea of with mermaids, you can ask if a sim is a mermaid and they will just lie to you if you don't have a good enough relationship. They'll just be like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. Even if they're in their mermaid form, they'll be like, what? Mermaid? where? Mermaid where? But it seems like with fairies, there's no... It's almost like fairies are just assumed to be real and natural or something. There was another question about these hooves, whatever these are, animal feet things. These are shoes. These are shoes that you can put on any outfits, and they are not actually linked to any one outfit. There are items that come in this pack that do have shoes with it, like the full body outfit has shoes that are linked to the outfit. As you see here, when I put this on, it got rid of those other ones that the sim was wearing. So I just wanted to show that off too, that when you saw these, that you can use them elsewhere. A werewolf fairy, that would be crazy. Well, you know, the occult mixing obviously is not something we can do at this point, but being able to use the different things that come in the different packs, including the other occult packs, is specifically what I wanted to see here. Because I remember when I first made this fairy sim, I was like, oh man, it would have been cool to have these other nails that come with other packs, specifically the werewolf ones, like having this one here or something, you know? All right, so another question we had about this pack was, where does the little starseed teleporter take you when you have all the packs installed? So, new places. So when I have all the packs installed, so with all the packs installed, we can travel to 5 different places. The Sylvan Glade, which is part of the base game, the Forgotten Grotto, which is part of the base game, but then you can also travel to the Magic Realm, the arcane world whose portal resides in Glimmerbrook. You can transport to Sixum, which comes with Get to Work, and then you can go to the Malcolm Peak, which comes with Escape. So if we go to the Magic Realm, where does that take us? And I wonder also if that list is expanded if we have the little teleporters on different lots. All right, cool. So we've transported to the Magic Realm. Can I transfer back? See, that's the issue with this. It's like, okay, I can instantly travel to this place, but I can't instantly travel from this place. Let me see about pulling it out of debug. All right, so I've got free build enabled. I'm gonna do the unlock object because the starseed teleporter is actually something that we can get through the fables. Like if you complete a fable with Care Wren, one of the fairies, they give you a starseed teleporter. So I only don't have that because of the version of this save that I'm in. I would have just, placed it somewhere, but let me unlock it. Okay, here we go. Starseed teleporter. So I placed the Starseed teleporter, which is an unlock, like I said. So we're gonna teleport back to, wait, we can't get back to the fairy world? Am I blind? Are y'all seeing Glimmerbrook, Oasis Springs, Willow Creek, Sixum, Mount Komorebi, but not back to Everdew? I guess I'm confused why we can't transport back to Everdew. Is that an oversight on their part? Or is this by design? Because you can get there by traveling normally? Yeah, I guess I'm thinking to myself though, the problem with being able to transport to all these different places, there's no like back button. Like you go there, what if you click the wrong thing? I don't know. Yeah, like I understand that we can travel to those places regularly, but you can travel to Glimmerbrook regularly as well, right? There's nothing special particularly about Glimmerbrook. You can be any sim and just go through the little portal thing and you're there. So if I place this Starseed teleporter down on our home lot and I give the fairy dust to another sim. Okay, so as another sim, I'm just going to teleport you down here. As another sim, I can click on this and teleport to these other worlds as well. And then does it cost me any more fairy dust to teleport with a sim? Teleporting with a group consumes 2 fairy dust. Ooh, so you can take people, at least I know I can take at least 3 with me. And then we can go somewhere else. We can go to the peak of Mount Komorebi. Okay, I guess we have to wait for everyone to gather. Can child sims click on this? Yeah, it looks like it. All right, everyone get together. We're going on a Mrs. Frizzle's field trip. Now we're at the top of a mountain, but there's no way to get back home except for by the map, I guess. Basically, like, if I get here, there's no way for me to transfer around. There may be an item, like, is there an item that you just keep in your inventory that you can click on and go between? No, right? I don't think so. This is it. All right, so we're just going to go to the map and we're going to go back home. But that was fun. We all got teleported to the top of a mountain. And also, in case you were wondering, this is what it looks like in the world's view. The little preview basically is a big old tree and then a little gnome pops up. Now, because we went to the top of the mountain, did we get the special trait? No. It doesn't look like we got any trait. I think maybe the trait comes from completing the like rock climbing, mountain climbing event or something. Because there's nothing I'm seeing down here for their traits. So then there were some questions around what options do we have with the gameplay with Enchanted by Nature. So in our pack settings, these are the things that you can change with Enchanted by Nature. So we have the option to limit fairies to Inniscreen. We have the option to turn off balance and imbalance. And we have the option to turn off luck. So I had some audio issues with this recording. I had some file corruption. So I wanted to come in here while I was editing the video to clarify here that you can limit your fairies to Inniscreen. When you check that box, it means that Sims will not be seen in their fairy form outside of Inniscreen unless you as a player do something to like trigger it. Then you can also turn off the balance and imbalance system. This does not actually remove ailments from the game. So if you don't want ailments, then it seems like don't get this pack. But if you turn off balance and imbalance, your Sims will still get ailments. It just will be less frequent. And you can also turn off the luck system if you would like. I still am not wholly sure how much luck impacts gameplay. I've seen a little bit of that with foraging, but I'm not sure how much bad luck at least impacts gameplay. So let's get the apothecary table and let's see if there's anything else that we can make now that we have all the packs installed. And let's come out here and craft. Okay, now that we know it, I'm just gonna cheat it. So let's cheat. Let's set this to the max level. So I've cheated this just so we can see if there's anything in particular that we can do specifically now that we have all the packs installed. Ooh, we can purchase advanced apothecary ingredients. So I'm gonna purchase a little bit of everything. Now that we've gotten all of the items. All right, so as far as the apothecary items, I can see here that these are ailments. So we still have the cure for ailments, calming drop. This elixir will remove almost any sad or angry moodlet. Enhanced eyes, temporarily improving foraging finds. Hooked on nature, temporarily boosts fishing outcomes. Noxious gas, a wee drink, momentary happiness, the emotion stone, balanced mind, restores balance. These are luck charms, lucky liquid, need stop. This elixir will temporarily prevent a sim's needs from decaying naturally. Need stop can only be consumed once every 24 hours. Removes any fears. Ooh, you can make an elixir to remove fears. That's fun. Supernatural shield. This elixir grants an invisible shield of protection from any negative powers and abilities of vampires, werewolves, spellcasters, and fairies. Oh my. Once the shield has been used, Sims will need to drink another to regain protection. Then there's Holistic Cure, which removes most negative moodlets, ailments, and fully restores the Sim's needs and balance. Celestial Protection prevents a Sim from receiving an ailment when they otherwise would, and an Emotion Potion. So, no. It doesn't look like there's anything new here. These all look like things that you could make just by nature of having the pack. Now, there was something in here that mentioned the other occults, but the Supernatural Shield. But that is just because fairies are also an occult. So fairies are included in this as well. So that wasn't extra from all of the packs. You said, can we turn off ailments if we turn off balance? It doesn't seem like if you have. So there's a question about, does luck affect Sims in other worlds? Luck is something that's in your Simology panel. So it's part of the list of things that you can keep track of for your Sims. So if we jump into another household, we should still see all of the luck and balance related things, because those are pack settings that you turn on and off. So I'm going to jump into the Pancakes household. And as you see here, Bob Pancakes, who lives in Willow Creek, has the balance and imbalance part of the Simology panel and the luck part of the Simology panel as well. So all of that is just part of like the settings of having this pack. Let's look at houseplants while we're here. So there was a question around which plants can become houseplants, and can only plants that come with the pack be in the like houseplant pots. So in case you don't know, okay, so we have these houseplant pots. So I'm gonna bring out several of these so you can see what I mean. So I'll add a couple of the actual houseplants that come with the pack. All right, so the houseplants, when they are outside, they are not affected by seasons. So I have this houseplant that is a live houseplant that needs to be taken care of inside one of the pots that we get. We also, I'm pretty sure you can put these in other garden pots as well. So it does look like you can put these inside of these garden planters if you so wish. And in doing so, they still have the same like status of healthy, and they're not affected by the weather. That being said, for the other plants that you can get, let's say you want to purchase seeds, there are options here to have the tabletop plant pot flowers. Oh my God, the speaking. There's options for flowers, fruits, and herbs. All right. So if I get these, I purchased one of each. Okay, so I don't know what Bob's doing. I can't be held responsible for what Bob's doing. But I am going to open up these seed packets to see what we get. So I can, for example, take... Oh, you know what actually would be good too? I'm going to have Eliza purchase other, like, plants. Because I want to see if I can get some bananas. Am I confused? I am at purchase seeds. Good Lord. Okay. Oh, like the catnip didn't show up. Okay, let's try catnip, garlic, magical plants, and maybe starter fruits and vegetables. Okay, here we go. We got bananas. That's all I was looking for. Bananas grown on trees. So I was trying to see, I'm like, oh, can I put bananas in here? No, you cannot. Can I put garlic in here? No, you cannot. An apple. I guess an apple I could have used for this test. No, you cannot. But apparently these tabletop herbs, fruits, and flowers are the ones you can put in. So if I put a strawberry, strawberries do go in here. Whatever this is, what is it? Sage? Sage goes in here. Parsley goes in here just fine. I'm surprised that like where's is this the madnip? Oh, madnip does go in here. Can you plant this? Oh, you like gardening. Off of that one, you know for a fact right now you like gardening. Okay, if you say so. Okay, and so here you can see that this item says sheltered, right? So it's like status, water fine, fertilizer depleted, and then it's sheltered, which means that is affected by seasons. Oh, what are you crying it out from? From having bad luck. Focus. Okay, can you plant why can't the garlic go in there? Green peas. Ooh, the peas can go in here though. But the peas can be affected by the seasons. So if I put this out here and come over here and plant this. Okay, cool. We can water it. But this one says in season, right? So basically any of the harvestable type of things that have been affected by seasons will be affected by seasons. And some of the things can be planted in these tabletop planters. But if you use one of the live house plant options that comes with Enchanted by Nature, those are not affected by seasons. So inside, outside, it's the same. You can't plant everything in these planters, but maybe there's a few more items than what they had listed when you purchase these seeds here. Like we can plant the catnip in there. We can plant some vegetables like the peas, and that's not an option when you click to purchase. So I'm wondering if most of the options that you can purchase are related to the apothecary skill. That would be my follow-up question, but that's for you to investigate later. You said the watering animation missed the entire plant, did it? Okay, so she's gonna plant the pea. The pea plants perfectly fine in here. And now go ahead and water it. Oh, okay, yeah, you're just watering this wherever you feel like. Yep, get water on the table, on the carpet, wherever is fine. Okay, so then there was a question about the wall planters from Eco Lifestyle. Okay, so we've got these out here, and we're trying to see if the houseplants go into these. Ooh, so the live houseplants do not go into like the vertical planters from Eco Lifestyle. Ooh, but these, I'm assuming, these planters from Businesses and Hobbies, because they're the same shape as these base game, or not, yeah, the base game ones. Yeah, they do go into these. Huh, okay. But not into here. That is unfortunate. There's also this question about whether or not the foraging and the natural living skill is available to Sims who are not like part of the nature nomad aspiration. I just want to confirm for everyone that any Sim, no matter where they are, can take part in the natural living skill when you have Enchanted by Nature. So I can have Eliza come outside and sleep outside right now. And she does not have the natural living skill already. She does not have the nature nomad aspiration, but she can start to develop her natural living skill and sleep outside if she so wants. That also includes foraging. However, you have to be mindful of where you click to forage. The texture of the ground that you click on affects whether or not your Sim can forage. So your Sim cannot forage on this ground. Try grass, dirt, or sand. So you see here, Eliza acquired the natural living skill. I am curious though. Okay, so when you click inside, you do not see the option to forage at all. All right, so you can sleep anywhere inside though. So we can take the, where are you, Bob? Okay, yeah, like Bob, for example, you want to sleep here? So Bob is just gonna go and like, you know, sleep on the floor in the basement. And now they're both sleeping. And he's acquiring the natural living skill, even though there ain't nothing about natural living that he's doing right now. So we're gonna get Eliza up. And like I said, we are outside. So now we're seeing the forage options, but we can't forage right here because we've got the pavement. This also applies to terrain paint. So for example, this is terrain paint. And when I click here, it says we can't forage on this ground, even if I click on the grassy part. And if I want to test this, let me grab another terrain paint so you can see. So I've got some like pavement terrain paint here that I'm just gonna like paint in this area and paint right here, okay? Just so you can see. So right here where I've painted, it says I can't forage. But right here next to it, I can forage. So I do like that little detail. I know that's like very basic, but you know, you have to be actually paying attention where to forage when you're outside. You can't just do it any old place. But obviously you can see we are not in this screen. We are in a base game world, and I almost called her Angelica. Angelica! Eliza! Yeah, Eliza is able to forage. And in doing so, she found a tulip. You said, fun fact, if you change it to sand, your Sim can also find seashells, no matter where they are. You keep seeing people saying luck is only in the new world. Is that true? No. We confirmed earlier that luck and balance affects all Sims. It's part of it's part of just the play of the pack. That's why it's in the settings. That being said, there was kind of like a question of like, is it like grief? It is not a trait. The way grief is handled, like once your Sims are experiencing grief from the life and death pack, they kind of get another little trait. It just is in the Simology panel. You will get different luck depending on the day. So I think every day your Sims get new luck. Now, I don't know what time that resets. or when that changes. Like today, Bob has ordinary luck. Luck on an ordinary day, not much else to say. Whereas Eliza specifically has bad luck looming over her today. Now, if I put you to sleep and you're already sleeping on the floor, in fact, I'm going to cheat your sleep so that you need to sleep longer on the floor, okay? And you too, because I want to see what time this luck or when it resets or how it resets. The thing about the natural living skill specifically is if Sims are sleeping on the ground, their hygiene is like affected. So even though our Sim is inside, sleeping on the floor in the basement, because they slept on the ground for so long, they are now smelly. So if I reverse these, right, and I cheated the hygiene to be full and the energy to be basically empty, I'm going to have Bob go and sleep on the floor again, okay? And again, I'm just cheating needs. So as you can see, as Bob continues to sleep, hygiene is getting depleted. All right, so what was that, like 2 a.m.? So it seems like around 2 a.m. is when the luck changes because now Bob has good luck today and Eliza has ordinary luck. So just every day your Sims have different luck no matter like what's going on. All right. So at this point, I just want to see if we're able to get any sort of ailment that we can see while we're outside of Inniscreen. Now, I'm just going to try to have Eliza be mean only because in my experience, I've seen, family dynamic difficult. My experience, I've seen things pop up when they were kind of like experiencing extreme emotions. And emotions are a big part of this pack, the Enchanted by Nature, because fairies rely on emotions and emotional force to fuel their abilities. But at this point, even doing this, it's not like the balance is changing. So it might be one of those things that just changes over time. It's not going to change just moment to moment, which is good, right? It's not like, oh, just because we had a bad argument, now all of a sudden we're going to end up with an ailment. I hope the ailments don't take over the game like the bags on the head from the neighborhood action plans. Or at least you hope there's a cheat to get rid of them if you want to. I would say that in the limited gameplay that I have seen and that I have done, I didn't see other Sims walking around with ailments except for when I put it on them as a fairy. Hence why I'm starting to think like, oh, it might be something that just happens over time. I did see one of my Sims get an ailment from foraging. You can get an ailment from foraging. You can just catch something. You can find something here. Come over here and forage. Like an old freezer bunny or something that gives you some weird emotional void feeling. And then you end up with the emotional void ailment. So that was a surprise that just looking for stuff, you might get an ailment. You can also find couches when you're foraging. So there's that. Okay, so we found a plantain and lemon and a last exception. So that's great. Love that for us. Also, luck does affect what you find with foraging. So that is kind of like one of the only gameplay impacts that I've seen with luck personally, outside of moodlets. Let's go back home. We used the toilet away from our home lot. We foraged a little bit. We argued. Let's see if anything changes. Now, I do wish with the foraging skill, they would keep foraging. Like, you have to tell them every single time you want them to forage. You can also see that this is an activity that's impacted by luck because the little clover is hovering above Bob's face. So I'm gonna have you keep foraging. So it said here that Bob found some simoleons while foraging. So I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't see how much. But like, he found simoleons while foraging because it's his lucky day. Yeah, like it would be nice to have like forage here, but then like, or continue to forage in the area. Or can I click on myself and just say forage? No, there's no way to just be like, hey, just go foraging. Forage for whatever. We can forage for food. So once you get to a higher higher in the natural living skill, when you forage for, you unlock different options. So you can forage for food, forage for plants, forage for apothecary ingredients. Now, I think I can queue up foraging. So I can tell my Sims to forage here, and it won't cancel out. You know how when you are like, you click go here and it cancels out? I don't think it cancels out with foraging at least. Well, this answers that question. So the question around whether or not you can get ailments outside of Inniscreen, it has been confirmed. Yes, you can. Because in Eliza foraging, somehow she's caught simoleon fever from contagious spread. Eliza felt a little queasy earlier and hoped it was nothing. But now it's obvious she has a full-blown ailment Maybe she didn't wash her hands enough, or maybe it was from that odd-looking sim she introduced herself to recently. Whatever the case, now Eliza has to deal with it. It's kind of funny. What are the symptoms of this? Eliza has heard of productive cough, but a profitable one? That's new. This uncomfortable ailment makes her sporadically cough up simoleons. So will we lose simoleons or gain simoleons? I can't tell. And honestly, I don't know how we caught this ailment. Are we unbalanced? No, we're still pretty balanced. The whole thing with ailments is we can possibly get them from just being out and about. So yeah, we just have this ailment. Now the ailment will, and now Bob has it too. Whatever it is, Bob has it. Is it simoleon fever? Yeah, they both have simoleon fever. Now, I guess this is not one of those things where you can just drink orange juice and it goes away. There is a specific gameplay mechanic around the ailments that we can use, which is going to see a naturopath. Just in case, though, I'm just going to see if just a little glass of orange juice will help clean us up. All right, let me come down here and get some orange juice. Can you do me a favor? Can you get off your computer? Covered in sores? So we're drinking some orange juice just to confirm that this won't help with anything. We got the smooth sipping moodlet, and that's it. We wash our hands, and I guess all we need to just go see a naturopath. We're going to end the screen so we can see Todd, so we can get a cure, okay? That's what we're trying to do. We could make the cure ourselves, but for the sake of this experiment, let's just go and talk. Bob made $75? That's it? Bring Bob pancakes here. So Bob also has simoleon fever. You look terrible. So we are in Spruce Grove, and we're trying to come over here. What time is this close? I don't know. Whatever the price, we'll pay. So now we've made it over here. Let me shop. Hello. Hi. Yes. Okay, so we can get some ingredients. We can get some books to teach us the skill, or we can order. So you don't have what I need. You don't have what I need. What am I? So I'm just screwed? And then I guess that's why this is here, because it's like, I mean, I don't have what you need, but you are more than welcome to make it yourself. And to craft these, I guess to craft all the cures for the ailments, you only need level 2 of the apothecary skill. Everything else is just more stuff, but like, nah, fam. Can I control you real quick, just for the sake of the test? Control sim. From your point of view, oh yeah, you have apothecary level 10. You just didn't make it. Got it. I need you to, oh, it closes at 7. Opens from 8 to 7. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, now you're tending the stall. Yeah, you know what? Let me stop controlling you, because I'm messing up the vibes. Well, there is a secret third option. Let's go befriend a fairy. Hey. Hi. Imagine starting a break-in. So if we befriend the fairy will cure us. Just for the sake of this, I am going to cheat our relationship to 60. We are now friends. And now I'm going to ask you, as a fairy, ask for help curing my ailment. Hi, yeah, can you help me out? Please. I've got simoleon fever. And Pohonik said, okay, fine. Is that it? Yay! Now we're feeling better. Woohoo! Okay, so fairies can do that for us. Bob, you're on your own. Now, I'm going to switch control to this household. Really quickly, I was just curious to see if the moon affected fairies. I don't think it does. I don't think we get access to anything special, considering that this is a full moon, or that we're affected by the moon cycle with our abilities or magic. I don't think that has any impact. So like if I come over here and out of the kindness of my heart, let me cure Bob. So I'm going to cure ailment. As a fairy, you can cure or apply ailments. So that's always good fun. So Phoenix just kind of got small, bada boom, bada bam. And now Bob is cured. That is very kind of you, Pohonik. That did use a chunk of emotional force. I can also sway this kid's emotions, as we already know. Sorry, I just think this is funny. The animation of them like getting really small and doing the magic, I think, is actually really cute. Okay, yeah, and then they lose a bunch of emotional force. The fact that it's a full moon doesn't like reduce the amount of emotional force. I feel like that could have been fun if like the moon cycles just kind of like subtly affected like how much emotional force was used, or gave them more power or less power or anything like that. There was also kind of a question of like, do fairies do magic? And yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in this ability tree, and then they can also level up. With our magic, we can bring gnomes to life. We can age up other sims, which I haven't even gotten to that yet. You can affect plants as well, project emotions. Let's see, if I want to let's embrace relationship changes. Might as well. Oh, actually, we can, with UI cheat some of this. So let me see. Can I unlock this? Unlock perk. All right, cool. So I unlock the ability to age up another sim, which doesn't seem like I should be able to do that. So it doesn't look like I can age up a kid, but you can age up adults. It requires a very high amount of emotional force. I can't age up a child? Okay, well, let me cheat the emotional force. Let me age up you, because who are you really? Let me age you up. Okay, using fairy magic, I'm able to age up the sim. And Beverly's aged up to an adult. Is there a cooldown on this? Like, age Beverly up. Oh, I guess if I just have the emotional force, I can just do it again. Hold on, let me just see. Let me age Beverly up again. Get out of the sink. Leave it alone. Okay, so we aged Beverly up again. Beverly is now an elder. I'm gonna hit save. Can't do this. I guess while the aging's happening. Oh, Beverly has grown afraid of magic after having it maliciously directed at her. Oh, so is that like a full-on fear in your thing? Yeah, fear of magic. Beverly has been frightened by magic. Having another negative experience could escalate this fear into paranoia. Talking to others about debunking magic will solve this. So you're skeptical and you're afraid of magic. Ain't that the truth? Okay, let me save. Yeah, no stealing the youth. Now, can I... Hold on, wait. Before I even ask that question, I'm going to cheat up the emotional force. So can I age you up? This sim cannot be aged up. So you can age sims up to elder, but you can't age them up past elder, if you know what I mean. I guess ailments can't take out an elder, right? Like, you can't just get an ailment and then die. Can't fairies also cure werewolves? Supposedly. Although, is that an ability? Oh, transform into fairy. The ability to transform other sims into fairies is at the top level for the nature category. All right, so Kara's getting on my nerves. Let's go to Forgotten Hollow and let's see. Go visit Vlad. Let me just see. Let's just see. I just want to see. Because I'm like, that doesn't seem like to be an ability I can earn. To like transform. Oh, ooh, it's dark. Oh my god, I didn't even have to go inside. Fairy. Absorb vampirism. And that was it. That also didn't take any emotional force. Okay. So I guess Vlad just isn't a vampire anymore. Let me control the sim. Very sad. Mortal melancholy from losing vampirism. Ooh. Mortal melancholy from losing vampirism. Back to the sad world of aging up and having to take restroom breaks. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so they're not happy about it, which is, I was like, I'm not happy about that. Yeah, that took no emotional force. That just was a click of the button and we could do that. Sorry, I just had a twinge of rage go through my body. Like, why didn't that take any emotional force? It takes emotional force to do everything as a fairy. But that, for some reason, was just like, yeah, no, go ahead, do it. All right, so Vlad is no longer an issue. Let's go to Moonwood Mill because it is a full moon. Okay, so these sims are all werewolves, but you may have the ability to like not change because it's the full moon. I didn't think they all did because I don't see one werewolf in here. Oh, wait a minute. It does look like Pahonix has a moodlet. Absorbing vampires. From absorbing vampirism from a vampire. Phoenix used the power of fairy magic to absorb the vampirism away from a vampire. And it's a 3-hour focused moodlet. Honestly, that don't even seem worth it. Again, it's a full moon. I mean, what's going on? Are you not a werewolf? You definitely are. Transform mastery. The will to resist. Isn't there one where you don't transform when it's a full moon? Here, let me just cheat your fury. Maybe that's a better idea. Uh-oh. Jacob is imbalanced. And someone's starting a fire. Okay, there's a lot happening in this very moment. I didn't do a dang thing. Now, Pahonix decided to get closer to the fire, which... Oh, because you got scared of the werewolf. All right, well, we do have the ability to fix this. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of this fire. All right, I keep cheating my emotional force just to do things. So we're going to set this to unburned. It does require... Oh, it doesn't even require that much emotional force. Now you're coming back to finish eating. Sure. Okay, so we have the option to soothe the beast. Oh, you could literally be like a fairy godmother to occults. Okay, so this little animation, immediately, he transformed back. Oh, but he did get an ailment. Oh, I was like, why does he look like that? That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Let's see. You know, these ailments, oh, it says it right here. Burning passion ailment from being very imbalanced. That's what I was trying to check. Why were you so imbalanced? From your fury? I guess when I cheated the fury to be like the max and then he transformed, that's immediately when the imbalance thing happened. Okay, so that's funny. And that's also none of my business. I ain't gotta fix that. Okay, so did we get a moodlet from that as well? We did. Beast soothed. From soothing the beast on a werewolf. The rage within has been soothed by Phoenix, at least for now. So for some reason, we're getting focus from these. Okay, sure. Wait, do you have a moodlet from being soothed? We do not have a moodlet from being soothed by a fairy. We just have the worst headache imaginable from recovering after a werewolf rampage. Oh yeah, everybody in this household is about to get the burning passion, whatever it's called, burning passion ailment. Another thing I'm curious about is like, well, what's up with horses? Do we not get unicorns for real? Now we do know that fairy magic can make animal sims feel better if they're sick. So like with cats and dogs and stuff. I was hoping that horses could be fairies or something. Or well, not fairies. Horses could be actual unicorns or something. But no. All right, so the one thing I'm really trying to figure out is like interacting and romancing with Mother Nature. Anyway, we do have a fairy seedling. So let's plant the fairy seedling over here. Okay, so we're just trying to see what we can do with Mother Nature here. All right, so once you have a fairy seedling, you can plant it. Then it brings up this flower. Once the flower disappears, then Mother Nature shows up. So let's think about Love Day. Hi, let me discuss interests. I can flirt with you. Yeah, look, flirt. Let me do a pickup line. Mother Nature. Oh, okay, so we've learned that Mother Nature is cheerful, outgoing, and loves the outdoors. And has a charisma skill. And for some reason, me flirting, Mother Nature did not like that. Uh-oh. It doesn't look like I can... It looks like I can flirt with Mother Nature and that's it. But it doesn't seem like she likes it. Every single time I flirt with Mother Nature... Okay, I'm not on flirting. Mother Nature clearly doesn't want to do anything. Let me see if we can be woohoo partners. Do you want to be woohoo partners with me? All right, she didn't answer. Do you want to be woohoo partners with me? And Mother Nature says, yes. Actually, no. I don't think Mother Nature said yes. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we can actually romance. We either can't romance Mother Nature or Pahonix is just really not good at it. I want to make an edit to my claim around romancing Mother Nature and Spruce Almighty. It does seem like you can romance with those Sims. I did see in another creator's video that they were able to get romance with Mother Nature just fine. I think that my Sim, Phoenix Asher, is just a jerk. So nobody wanted to romance with them. So Mother Nature is summoned from a fairy seedling. So as long as you have a fairy seedling, you can summon Mother Nature. But what if you have the glasswood tree from Debug? Can you summon Spruce Almighty just on your lot? Go to content unlocked. It's right here, the glasswood tree. It's unlocked by completing the not mushroom for error fable. Get it from completing an easy fable from Karen. So then, yeah, if you have the glasswood tree, you can totally summon Spruce wherever you want. Hi, yeah, it's me again. I just wanted to summon you to mock your outfit. Okay. Yeah, and you know what sucks? You have to show up every time I summon you, too. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like, yeah, it's like you're a genie? So the question is around eating raw fish and frogs. Can we eat any of them or certain ones? Does having a higher natural living skill dictate that? Wondering if having a higher fishing skill has any effect on eating the raw fish. So the higher your natural living skill, unlocks the abilities. So you are able to eat raw fish and you're able to eat frogs once you have like a certain level of the natural living skill. So we do have a leopard frog, which we can eat. So if we have a frog in the inventory, you can eat it. You just need level 5 of the skill. Same thing with fish. Once you have a certain level of natural living skill and you catch some fish, you can just eat it raw if it's in your inventory. So for example, Jacob has gotten the natural living skill. And if I give this frog to Jacob, when I click frog, it lets you know right there, you need to unlock level 5. I don't know if there's anywhere we can fish in Everdew. Let's travel. Let's go to Oasis Springs so we can fish. Okay, so we caught a koi fish. Now, again, this is an activity that's affected by luck. So you can see that Gloria's luck is good, so we are able to reap the benefits. Fishing. To confirm, children's sims are not affected by luck or balance because it's literally not in their Simology panel. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. We are going to go in, and I just want to see. I'm going to go into MC Command Center, and I'm going to modify the household and cast. And I'm going to add a teen sim. Okay, you look like a grown man. Hey, Rolando. All right, so come over here. So teenagers are affected by balance and luck. I guess that makes sense. You can start using your fairy powers as a teenager. As we see here, Jacob technically is a fairy, but there's no actual abilities or powers that Jacob has access to at this point until he becomes a teenager. Now, there is supposed to be like an impact of emotions on children who are fairies, but it must not be all the time. It must be sporadic. All right, so the point of this was to try to investigate which fish and frogs we can and cannot eat. So let's all fish together again, so we can try to catch some more fish really quickly. And I'm gonna cheat everybody's needs so nobody stops. We have a fishing sweatshop. All right, so Gloria's catching all kinds of fish, partially because of luck, I think. You love the outdoors? Absolutely. Yeah, so Gloria keeps catching fish. And Rolando, I guess, said, I'm done with this. So, no, keep fishing. All right, so they've been speed fishing for a little bit. I don't know, has the baby caught a fish? Yes. Whoa, what was that? You caught a tuna? Good job. Okay. It's like, I'm a proud sim parent. All right, so, tuna. It says right here that if we had level 2 of the natural living skill, we would be able to eat the fish raw. So, any of the fish in your inventory or any of the frogs in your inventory, there's no limit, you're able to eat. The fish don't fill up that much hunger. And in fact, the fish I feel like you're better off eating like an apple or an onion than you are to eat a fish. So for example, do we have any fish left? Yeah. So for our teen sim, Rolando, I'm gonna cheat your hunger down. So you see, it's like really low right now. So before, and then let's eat a fish. We've got this discus. Let me have you forage real quick so I can cheat your need. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you just randomize with the hooks for shoes? Are you good, fam? All right, so we're gonna cheat this to level 5 just to make sure we can eat the fish and the frogs. Okay, so now we're gonna eat this fish, and you can see we're still literally in the red. Eating the fish did not help us as much as it should have, in my opinion. Versus if I buy an apple, mushrooms, and then, starter fruit, starter vegetables. Oh my gosh, I did not even realize you can order that stuff from your phone. This sim is still in the red, but let me eat this carrot. Now the hunger need after eating the carrot, you see how much that jumped up versus eating the fish? Now, as far as can fairies become plant sims? Eat the forbidden fruit of the plant sim. Oh, you're emotionally starving too. Sorry. Well, I mean, Pahonix ate the forbidden fruit of the plant sim, but the only thing they got was the it's just okay moodlet from eating a harvestable. Who's scared? You're scared. Hey, you're like shivering under the covers. Yeah, do you mind if I take some of your emotional force, actually? Let me absorb your emotion. Is it because I made you an old woman? You're gonna hold that against me forever? Yeah, Pahonix is emotionally starving. We get it. You're hungry. Thank you. I think, I'll probably take away your fear, right? You said the higher the skill, the more they gain hunger from the things they eat with natural living skill. Sure. But at the moment, this sim was a level 5 natural living skill, and it didn't feel it that much. So, yeah. I think with the natural living skill, each level you do get some cool stuff. So there is some fun gameplay to discover with that. Fairies cannot become plant sims for the day by eating the forbidden fruit. But you can ask a plant sim for the forbidden fruit, or you can forage and you may find it yourself. I think one more thing I'm able to test today is seeing if there's any major cross-pack compatibility with the foraging and outdoor retreat. So let's take a vacation. Just me and Phoenix. Hi, yeah, so we're gonna need to rent some tents? Yes. Yeah, thank you. All right, so let's go to Granite Falls. And go to the campground. And we'll be there for, let's say, 2 days, because we can end it earlier. All right, so we can forage for plants, collectibles, and food. I mean, I guess I can start trying to forage just to see, but I'm not sure if there's going to be any specific thing that you can forage by being in Granite Falls. Okay, so Phoenix said, you know what? I'm on vacation. I'm gonna let you do that. Oh, I guess we also found a Void Critter card. Oh, we also found a pomegranate. No, don't join the game. Keep foraging for collectibles. So I'm going to queue up a few of these. So we found one dragonfly. Okay, so to the people who were asking whether or not we can find the bugs and stuff by being in Granite Falls, the dragonfly is part of the collections with Outdoor Retreat, right? If we go to our new handy dandy notebook. Collectibles, here we go. Insects. Yeah, we found a dragonfly by foraging. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I don't necessarily know if we can't find a dragonfly anywhere but Granite Falls, but the fact that we are able to just forage for collectibles in Granite Falls and we're finding the dragonfly here, I mean, that was at least coincidental. Oh, and this has happened to me more times than I even want to admit, honestly. While foraging, Gloria found something bizarre, the corner of a large and expensive sofa buried with a protective waterproof wrapping peeking out from the soil. Why was it buried? And by who? Gloria has no clue. But as the old saying goes, one Sim's buried luxury sofa is another Sim's foraged luxury sofa. A brand new Captain Rodrigo de Pablo couch can be found in Gloria's household inventory. My issue with that is I do wish that it was like, I don't know, tattered, old, in some sort of disrepair, because it has been just buried underground. So yeah, we found a few frogs. We found the dragonfly, and I guess I'm just going to keep foraging for collectibles. I'm going to go through these last few collectibles that I have queued up. It looks like we found another dragonfly, and it's rare. We found another Void Critter card. So again, foraging is affected by luck, which Gloria has ordinary luck today. So I guess the frequency with which we're finding like rare stuff is just because this is a kind of OD kind of thing. Yeah, we found a spotted eggplant frog. So this is also one of those things where if you need frogs for something and you need to go and you want to go collect frogs, I mean, it's much easier and faster to just look for collectibles. She found Will-o'-the-wisp. So I am curious. So we're going to go to level 2. I'm going to go through each one to see. Okay, so for getting to level 2, we can now summon a privy bush for bladder relief and gain hunger by gulping down on fish. And we can now intentionally forage food. At level 3, we can forage for plants, and eating harvestable foods will also better satisfy his hunger, which is crazy because it already satisfies hunger pretty well, I feel like. Sleeping on the, well, maybe that is, because I think that sim maybe did have a high or like a mid-level natural living skill, so maybe that was affected by the eating the harvestables specifically. Sleeping on the ground outdoors and indoors is a little bit more restful and won't reduce the hygiene as quickly. As he gains skills, sleeping will become even better. Level 4, when we use the privy bush, we stay cleaner and lose less hygiene. At this level, we also find bathing in natural water kind of fun, even if a bit uncomfortable at times. Napping on benches is also a little bit nicer than before. At level 5, we can now eat frogs, and we can intentionally forage for collectibles. So being able to find collectibles starts at level 5. We can talk to nature at level 5, and we've overcome the discomfort of bathing in water. And the public restroom sponge baths will get cleaner faster and feel better in the process, which is something that happens with the natural living skill, is you can now take a sponge bath in these bathrooms. So at level 6, we no longer are affected by extreme heat or cold and have no problem sleeping or bathing outdoors in the rain or snow if you have seasons. Sleeping on the ground may even give a boost to our balance. And then we will also feel more hunger when gulping down raw fish, with less of a chance of getting the raw rumble moodlet. At level 7, using a privy bush no longer affects our hygiene at all, and feasting on harvestable foods is fun. Phoenix can now also meditate in nature at level 7. It's kind of fun, but it'll take a bit more skill to get the hang of. At level 8, we're thriving in nature. We'll satisfy much more hunger from eating raw fish as well as harvestable foods, whether gained by foraging, gardening, or otherwise. At level 9, we're feeling right at home in nature. Frogs satisfy extra hunger, while talking to nature fills much greater social need. We now have figured out meditating in nature and find it not only enjoyable, but also restorative to balance. And at level 10, we can clean up very quickly in wadeable waters. Sleeping on the ground has even greater chance to restore some balance. And eating harvestable foods now satisfies a large amount of hunger. Phoenix's comfort with natural living adds one more benefit: dramatically lowered chances of getting fear of the dark simply from being outdoors at night, and fear of swimming from minor swimming incidents. So those are all the like benefits once you get through each level of the natural living skill. I mean, I think it's a pretty dope skill, but it's very powerful. You can find pretty rare collectibles. You can get, I mean, you could basically just make a whole living off of digging for collectibles, and that's how you can pay your bills. I am curious with her being the top of the natural living skill. Let's eat a fish now. Oops. So our hunger is here. Okay, relax. So she started getting hunger before we even ate the fish. I'm telling you, it's not, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Okay, that's not worth it for the fish. Now eating a lemon might be worth it now. All right, so our hunger is here. Eating a raw lemon. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I'm talking about? All right, so overall, as far as cross-pack compatibility when it comes to Enchanted by Nature, no one is surprised. There's not that much. Even the interaction with the other occults, I am a little bit like about, because I was a little upset that being able to help the occults did not cost any emotional force. I feel like everything about being a fairy costs emotional force. Why doesn't that cost any emotional force? Why is that also not locked behind the skill tree in some sort of way? Maybe because they can't have cross-pack things behind the skill tree? Sure. But why not then have some of those abilities, like to help the other occults, be locked behind the emotional force game mechanic that they added with the pack? I didn't see anything about unicorns. I mean, it's not like I went fully into the cast to see if horses could become fairies, but like they can't, right? So I really wish that they would have just done something along those lines. Although we do know that there is interaction between fairies and pets, because they said that in the blog post. The apothecary table didn't have any other recipes or anything when you have all the packs installed. I was hoping maybe like there would be special things that you can make with ingredients that are with other packs, or special things that you could do, you know, like maybe you could kind of like craft a wellness treat like you can on the little vet crafting table. Maybe you can do that through the apothecary table, or crafting something for when you're sick in the game instead of taking the medicine bottle. I was hoping to see something like that. It didn't seem like that was an option. I mean, maybe if your Sims have other skills that might be related to those sorts of things, maybe that unlocks. But from what I saw, there's no other special unlocks for having all of the packs installed with the apothecary table. I think that's a little bit like, oh, because even when you think about the gemology skill, right? Like there's all of the crystals that come in the game, like the base game. And then they brought additional crystals and stuff to the pack. And then you can craft with all the crystals, and all of them have different effects. So I think being able to use some of the other like collectibles and ingredients and stuff for the apothecary table could have been cool. And yet it does not seem like that is the case. You said unicorns will be their own magic creature pack in the future someday. Watch. You're not an occult player, but you're disappointed that the 2 fairy deaths are really hard to get. I mean, yeah. I don't mean like, I think The Sims 4 has a particular stance on death that is different from maybe previous generations of the game. I think that The Sims 4 stance is that it's got to be pretty hard and difficult to kill your Sims. I can think of very few ways that are really easy to kill your Sims. Maybe like vampires, if you just have them out in the heat and they get overheated, you know? I can't think of many other easy deaths for Sims. You would have loved to use insects at the apothecary. And not to be that guy, but this is where I'm like, hopefully modders got our back on this. You know, like, I don't even play with mods for real. And even I'm like, somebody's got to do something about this. Because it feels like not even an oversight. It just feels like an intentional decision that I'm like, why? I want my expansion packs to play well with each other. I want them to talk to each other. I want them to feed into each other. I don't want it to be that every time you pay $40 US to add something to this game, it's its own independent world. Like, I would like it to be 80% its own independent world, but I want 20% of that something. You know, like, I want there to where opportunities for them to talk to each other. I'm like, why not? Why not have them talk to each other? Especially from the player point of view, the obvious cross-pack compatibility opportunity was with Outdoor Retreat. Get enchanted by nature, get outdoors for your retreat, right? Like, those were the obvious, like, conversations, and it doesn't feel like they talk to each other. That being said, obviously the natural living skill goes very well with Outdoor Retreat. You don't even need a sleeping bag, just sleep outside. You can forage. As you saw in the video, we found some insects, and then being able to forage for those insects and then going to make the recipes and stuff, like, that's cool. But that is it. My personal view of this pack is I am very torn. I know old version of me, pre having a YouTube channel, I wouldn't have gotten this pack. I would have skipped it. From my perspective as a Sims content creator today, what I'm trying to do, or what I have been trying to do in all the videos that I've made about this pack, is actually convince my old self to purchase it. Like, what did I need to see back in the day to purchase it? And I think for some of this, it's like, you know what type of Sims player you are. I am not the Sims player at my core that wanted occults. I was never an occult player growing up. I have convinced myself to explore occults as I've become specifically a Sims content creator. And I do encourage people, if you're bored with the game, to play in different ways than you normally play. If all you do is do family gameplay, or you play with one or two Sims, you know, play with a household full of Sims to change up your gameplay. If you only play with human Sims, try to play with a different occult Sim. There's a high probability that you have at least one pack with an occult at this point, right? If you have island living, you have mermaids. If you have get to work, you have aliens. A lot of the more interesting occults with the skill trees and stuff are with specific game packs. There's literally a sale right now. If you're watching this in real time, use my code vstreetlove if you go to purchase on the EA app or Sims 4 website. But get the packs on sale. Get a pack that you wouldn't normally get on sale and try something new. Erasing that rant, though, from my perspective, this is just, I am not convinced. If you like fairies, I think you will be happy. If you don't like fairies, but you like The Sims in general, you just love when The Sims 4 comes out with new content, there's new stuff to do here. I just am just not convinced. I'm just not convinced from my point of view. Right, if your Sims are freezing, if you have seasons, your Sims are at risk of freezing or overheating. That is true. Your Sims are always at risk of freezing or overheating if they're outside, though. You know, like, seasons is pretty, there is no not feeling the effects of seasons once you have it in your game. Even the houseplants and the plants and all that stuff, right? Like, every plant is affected by seasons if you can get a harvestable from it. Going outside, you are affected by seasons if you have it in your game. So yes, if part of this pack comes with the ability to sleep anywhere, including sleeping outside, meditating outside, you know, peeing outside, all of that's going to be affected if you have seasons. Absolutely. You just needed to see the fairy skill tree and you knew you were going to like it. And I love that. That's what I mean. I'm like, for me, I'm happy. I hope I've said this over and over again. I am happy for the fairy truthers. And I mean that from the bottom of my soul. I'm happy that there is a skill tree with this and that there's hella wings. Okay. If you wanted fairies, that's lit. And they have little antlers, and you got the little hooks. I learned what those were in this process. There's different, like, fairy tale accessories and the fairy tale build buy. There's definitely a lot of potential for me moving forward of, like, having a fully integrated fairy tale occult type of world and gameplay. That is totally coming in the future from my point of view. That being said, I was just like, what does this offer me outside of that? I also think a potential critique for the natural living skills specifically, depending on how you like to play, is it makes things so easy. It is so easy to do things in The Sims sometimes. And the natural living skill definitely makes things way easier. All you have to do is click around anywhere and you can find some rare collectibles because you're having a lucky day. You can just dig up a couch. Well, although I'm a little bit like, it's also like, that is comedy. That is quite literally Sims 4 comedy. I will allow it. But it still feeds into the point of like, okay, like if you like challenging gameplay, this makes things way simpler. But if you don't like challenging gameplay and you want things to be even easier, then yeah, this is definitely the skill for you. They gave us satyr stuff too, so hype. I'm telling you, the conclusion for me is how dope this pack is lost on me. I know that. That's the weakness of this whole situation. If they came out with like a black hair salon pack, there would be so many simmers like, this don't mean a damn thing. But if I was going through my the black salon hair pack, okay, a game pack, they brought game packs back with salons, okay? And they had salons, they had washing bowls, they had hair dryers, they had a little barbershop chair feature. They had a chair feature where you could have 1 to 3 Sims braiding your Sim's hair. Some people would be like, why do you need 3 people braiding hair? Like, what's going on? Me? I'd be like, they got 3 Sims braiding a Sim's hair? That's crazy. And then with the little salon hair pack, like, you could get your hair braided like nails. Like, you know, you can go get your nails done in the game. You would get your hair done in the game. You could either leave cast with your hair done, or you could go get your hair done in the game, and then it would grow out. And then you would get embarrassed. You get your little embarrassed movelet because your hair is growing out, and you need a different retwist, and you need your hair rebraided or whatever. And then, like, you'd have to take out your hair, and then they'd have a different hairstyle when your hair needs to be taken out. You could go to get your hair braided, and then, like, have a bad braiding job, and then the parts are all crazy. So all of those details would be lost on so many simmers. Some of y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. Some of you are like, oh, sure, okay, yeah, that sounds fun. But some of y'all are dialed in. You're like, that's hilarious. I get it. Oh my God, I would love that. That's how I feel about the fairy stuff. I'm like, it's just lost on me because I'm not a fairy girl, okay? You know, they came out with an ogre pack, but it was all Shrek themed, you know? There'd be some things maybe I could pay a little bit more attention to. I'm like, why doesn't the ogre pull earwax out of his ear? You know, like, why didn't they add that ability to the game, right? I would be like, or if they did, I'd be like, wow! He said, that sounds so good, actually. Cosmetology skill, right? Y'all know how I'm sorry. I love to say y'all know how I am, but some of y'all don't know how I am. So let me tell you how I am. In the great online world of just things, I try to stay more generally positive and optimistic about The Sims because I love this game. And I have loved this game since I was a preteen child. I have loved this. I mean, this game has followed me on some level. I mean, throughout me becoming a literal grown adult, right? That being said, there is always room for observations and critiques. And I just am, what is the word I'm looking for? Like I said in my other video, I'm just choosing my words carefully because I am like, I don't want to step on the toes of people who are really excited for this pack. And what I do like hearing about people who are excited about fairies coming to The Sims 4 is that the more they learn about it, the more excited they get. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel like, okay, cool. Like The Sims did their big one. If you were looking for fairies, you actually are happy with this. Aside from it's not just like they added fairies in the way they added mermaids, where it's just a cosmetic thing and more or less you can't do anything cool and there's no real gameplay, right? Like they did add a skill tree. They did add a bunch of cosmetic effects. There is technically cross-pack compatibility with fairies. They did technically do an update to Plant Sims, not as far or as much as people would want, but that's technically there. And then if you're not into Plant Sims and if you're not into fairies, they did add gameplay for people who are not interested in that. They added the apothecary skill. They added a new career. They added the natural living skill. There are more things to do outside of just fairies if you're not interested in that. And I'm just going to go back to what someone else said in the chat, which is that these things are added, but sometimes it just feels like it's just like a hair farther, you know, just having a little bit more for children. It's not even so much about like, because we all play with children so much, but it's just a few little details to just feel like we're pulling the theme. We are expanding our game with an expansion pack throughout all ages. I mean, we talked about it before about how there's not even a single bed, which I find odd. And for I just want to see, because I'm just like, okay, is that even a fair critique? If I go to comfort and let's go to businesses and hobbies, there's no single bed in businesses and hobbies. There's no single bed in life and death, in Love Struck. The last time we got a single bed, it looks like was in Horse Ranch. So it does make me feel like, okay, I guess we're just not happy. Obviously we got them in Growing Together, And in high school years. Yeah, I mean, we never, basically, by the looks of this, we never get single beds. Well, that's not true. The earlier ones, we did. Oh, okay. Get Famous is a weird pack. Sorry, I'm just clicking through because I'm like, wait, Get Together came with no beds? Is there? There's no continuity of what we should expect from an expansion pack. And I think that is another issue. The Sims in general is not understanding what we should be expecting with all of the new DLC. I feel like the smaller the packs, the more likely we are to understand. We understand with kids, we basically just get a few little items. Stuff packs, we get a few little items and some casts, and then it's a new little gameplay, little thingy-majig. Game packs and expansion packs is where things start getting muddy. And they knew that, I think. I think that's another reason why they've stopped making game packs. There is a single bed in Life and Death. Hold on, wait, let me see. It could be, I could have things tagged weird. I don't see a single bed, unless you count the coffin. Where is it? Is it not tagged here? It's not tagged as a bed. This macabre munchkin thing, this is a toddler bed. Yeah, it's not a single bed. This is a toddler bed. That's how they get you. And that's exactly what they did with Enchanted by Nature. We have a toddler bed, but no single bed. I think if the expansion pack looks like a fun time to you, then it will probably be a fun time for you. After the videos you've seen from me and from other creators, you're kind of like, I don't know. Then it'll probably be, I don't know, when you go to play as well, right? All in all, if after watching this video, you've decided that you do want to purchase the Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature expansion pack, please consider using my code vstreetlove at checkout when you purchase the pack on the Sims 4 website or EA app. When you purchase using my creator code, I do get a small commission on the sale. It is not a discount, but it is a way to support me as a creator. So if you are looking for ways to support me and you are already planning on purchasing the pack, or if after watching the video you decided you want to purchase the pack, please use my creator code vstreetlove. And if you don't want to use my code, because you're preying on my downfall. First of all, stop watching this video. Exit. Go ahead and block me. Don't even be here. Second of all, that's fine. Just use someone's creator code in the promo box when you go to checkout. A lot of your favorite creators have a code that you can use. So please use somebody's code. Whether you want to cycle through your favorite creators, you used my code last time, so you want to use somebody else's code this time, totally fine. Just don't leave the box blank. Support somebody, please. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, like and share this video, and turn on the post notifications so you know when my next video goes up. I go live weekly on this channel as well, so you are gonna want to be subscribed for that. But don't worry, there's more fun to be had on my channel, so make sure you check out the other videos here. And until next time, y'all, dag dag!